am a scared about what happened.
A stranger outside school tonight. What parents need to know about child luring attempts. Plus, how big's your medical bill? The I-Team found it depends on which hospital you choose. And Randy goes to the Raiders. Hear what he compared his years in Minnesota to.
This is WCCO 4 News at 10.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Amelia Santinello.
Tonight, parents and teachers are doing all they can to protect students from a stranger in a Minnesota town. 3
girls say a man tried to lure them into his van this morning near Cokato Elementary School. Bridget Bornstein went there to find out what's being done to make sure everybody's safe.
Dylan Meidel usually takes the bus to school, but he feels a little safer knowing his mom will drive him tomorrow.
Well, I am a scared about what happened.
You know, we're 60 miles from the cities, not much happens out here, so you just kind of wonder who's out there.
This letter went home to parents. It details what happened this morning within just a few blocks of school. 3 girls walking to Cokato Elementary were each separately approached by a man who attempted to have them get in his van. The girls didn't talk to the man. Instead, they moved away. One even ran, and they all reported it to school officials.
We're extremely proud of the students and the reactions that they had. We're very proud that they felt compelled to come and talk to our principal.
As a precaution, all students were kept indoors during noon recess. Meantime, tonight, parents are making sure children know what to do if a stranger approaches.
I would just turn around and run away.
I just hope that, you know, that they find this guy and that they put him away or just get him off the streets.
Right here, this is Cokato Elementary School, and you can see the homes are pretty close to the school. Here's a neighborhood right here. There are many homes that are very near the school, so there are many students who walk to school. Tomorrow morning, there will also be many adults out here in the neighborhood, police officers and school officials watching and making sure that everyone gets to school safely. Amelia?
All right, Bridget, thank you. And the girls in this case described the suspect as a man in his 20s or 30s. They say that he had short brown hair and possibly a mustache. He wore an orange shirt or sweatshirt and blue jeans. The girls say that he drove a green or bluish-green van with a gray interior. If any of this sounds familiar to you, you are asked to call the Wright County Investigators Division, and that number is 763-682-7635. Once again, that number, 763-682-7635.
Now, this next crime started as a shooting that ended with a fire. This is what's left of a car someone shot up in Minneapolis this evening. Police say after the bullets flew, that car crashed into a power pole at West 31st Street and Blaisdell Avenue in South Minneapolis. That's when the power line fell and apparently set that car on fire. 2 people went to the hospital. Doctors do expect them to recover. Tonight, the push for a statewide smoking ban could be over. At the Capitol this year, a Minnesota House committee rejected plans to ban lighting up in restaurants. And now a tougher plan in the Senate might be snuffed out as well. Businesses fought the smoking ban because they said it would cost them customers. Today's decision will not affect city and county bans already in place. Lawmakers also put the brakes on a plan to scrap no-fault insurance. Critics wanted to kill it or at least limit it because they say it drives up prices of car insurance here. Each year in Minnesota, for instance, we pay about $200 more than our neighbors do in Wisconsin. They do not have no-fault. The deal's done. The Minnesota Vikings star receiver is in Oakland right now.
Just to be able to be in the silver and black, I mean, it's just, I mean, who wouldn't want to be in the silver and black?
Randy Moss sported his new colors and new number 18 jersey tonight. In California, Moss said that he's still in love with Minnesota, but ready for a new start. Bob Rainey tells us what Moss compared leaving the Vikings to later in sports. The NHL season was a bust, but many true hockey fans say the real deal is playing right now in St. Paul. As Esme Murphy explains, the celebrations that come with the boys' state high school hockey tournament started today.
Hockey is back in St. Paul, and once again, the streets are full of fans. At Patrick McGovern's on West 7th, these 3 families from Shakopee are all here for the game. But buying dinner for 15 means dropping some cash.
And how much money do you think you'll spend?
$300-400 with our group.
And on this night, restaurants and bars near the XL are packed with fans like these.
Absolutely. They add to business. They bring a lot of people downtown, and it's been going on for a lot of years. It's good fun.
Here in the shadow of the XL Center, most businesses have taken a major hit. And a few, like this once popular nightclub, have even had to close. The sign blames high player salaries. The players for Shakopee and Totino Grace and all the other teams are not only not getting paid, for years their families have paid fees and for equipment so they could reach this moment. And for fans, that makes this tournament something to cherish, and for some, something to reach for.
How do you feel about the hockey you're going to see tonight?
Very excited. I just want to go see some hockey.
It's been hard without hockey, isn't it?
Yes.
So Hockey Star fans are finally getting their fix. Businesses that have struggled all season are finally making some money. For at least these 4 days, the Minnesota state of hockey is very much intact.
Thank you, Esme. Now keep it here to see all the best tourney highlights a little later on in sports.
Tonight, the legal troubles that tarnished Kobe Bryant's image are over. The NBA superstar settled the civil lawsuit filed by the woman who accused him of rape. She backed out of the criminal case against Bryant last fall. He's apologized, but insisted the sex was consensual. Lawyers say Bryant now will likely have to pay his accuser for damages. The amount would be confidential. Can a public building display the 10 Commandments without violating the U.S. Constitution? The United States Supreme Court took that issue on today. For the first time in 25 years, separation of church and state came before the nation's highest court. 2 states recently ruled on different sides of that issue. A Texas court said the commandments can stay on Capitol grounds, while a Kentucky court ordered them removed. The Supreme Court's final ruling is expected this summer. The Passion of the Christ drew controversy for its graphic crucifixion scenes. So now the film is going to be recut.
Mel Gibson is slicing about 6 minutes of his most violent and bloody footage. He hopes that the re-edited religious epic is more family-friendly, but it will likely be unrated or rated R. The film comes out next Friday. Well, Martha Stewart won't need a makeover when she gets out of prison this weekend. Newsweek already gave her one. On the magazine's cover this week, editors put her face on someone else's body. They say there's nothing wrong with what they call a photo illustration. Stewart's TV show actually won 3 Emmy nominations today. She will have to ask her probation officer, though, if she can go to the award.
I wish I could put a different head on this body. That's what
I feel
I'm
like
hoping.
that. I feel like that some days. A lot of days, actually.
Long on hope, long on hope, possibly short on fuel. Can a daring adventurer make it home for his flight around the world? Plus.
Just wonder who's regulating this. Isn't there somebody to check on the prices?
Same medical procedures, different prices. The I-Team compared costs at Minnesota hospitals. See how yours stacked up next on WCCO 4 News.
This is WCCO 4 News at 10.
Tonight, an adventurer is keeping his sky-high dream alive. Seconds ago, Steve Fawcett said, "Let's go for it." Fawcett wants to fly around the world solo without refueling. Trouble is, he could already be low on fuel. Despite that concern, Fawcett's pushing ahead, flying over Hawaii right now. He'll set a world record if he lands safely tomorrow. The woman whose accusations started the Gopher men's basketball investigation has died.
Jan Gangelhoff passed away at her parents' home in Wisconsin on Monday. Back in 1999, she admitted that she did homework for more than a dozen basketball players. Her accusation led to Coach Clem Haskins and several top University of Minnesota leaders leaving the school. Gangelhoff had cancer. She was 56. Many doctors thought this next problem was harmless, but tonight Mayo Clinic researchers warn it could kill. Their new study suggests that anyone with badly leaking heart valves should consider surgery right away. The Mayo Clinic says not getting those valves fixed makes patients 5 times more likely to die of a heart problem. One hospital charges $11,000, another $4,800.
Both to deliver a baby. The I-Team discovered no one can explain why these charges are so different. Tonight, Terry Gruca unravels the mystery and shows you how to get to the bottom of your bill.
Okay, I got some pie ready.
Marianne Schrader can bake with the best.
Pumpkin cheesecake and a regular pumpkin.
When she's not making something special for one of her 12 grandchildren,
Irv?
she dotes on her husband, Irv.
Very seldom he does anything domestic.
This 70-year-old isn't ready to slow down. But 6 months ago, she started feeling tired. Diagnosed with internal bleeding and anemia, her doctor prescribed Procrit to help. And it did. Then Mary saw that the same shot she received at St. Cloud Hospital cost $600 less at Mayo Clinic.
Just wonder who's regulating this. Isn't there somebody to check on the prices?
It's the same question Julius Edlovich asked after he broke his arm falling off a ladder and needed surgery.
When I got my bill, it was just a number. There was no itemized statement of what they did for you. It's just $24,000.
Julius did what you should do. He asked for details of his bill and says he was charged for a cryocuff, an arm sling, that he did not receive. Getting to the bottom of what hospitals charge can be complicated. We asked 11 different hospitals across Minnesota to give us the average charges for 8 common procedures. And what we found is the exact same procedure can cost you a lot more money, depending on where you go. Having a baby? Charges to deliver by C-section can vary by $9,500. Mayo Clinic, Allina, and Methodist hospitals charge between $14,000 and $17,000. Fairview Hospitals in St. Cloud charge between $8,000 and $13,000. The charge to have your appendix removed can vary by $8,800. Allina Hospital charges run at the high end, around $17,000. Methodist, Mayo Clinic, and St. Cloud are at the low end, between $8,000 and $10,000. Even the charge for a private hospital room varies by $890. Methodist and all the Fairview hospitals charge at the high end between $1,300 and $1,600. St. Cloud and Mayo Clinic at the low end between $800 and $1,000. If you have insurance, you don't pay the full charge, often just a copay or deductible. But your employer and health insurance company are footing more of the bill. And face it, you're the one who's already paying the price in the form of higher premiums, higher copays, higher deductibles. And there's another catch. Lose your insurance or can't afford it, you pay the entire charge, like 400,000 Minnesotans.
I'd like to simplify the process.
St. Cloud CEO Craig Broman says hospitals welcome scrutiny from patients concerned about their bills because this is a tough subject. He says there is no exact formula for what hospitals charge. It's complicated. Hospitals consider
How much Medicare, how much Medicaid, how much commercial insurance, and then how much private pay and charity care that we provide.
Attorney General Mike Hatch says the problem is all you get is numbers.
Well, we're still trying to figure out what they mean.
As head attorney for the state, even he has trouble getting answers.
Well, they don't like to talk about this. No, they don't. They're not happy right now.
Why though?
Because I mean, these figures are so wrong. They make no economic sense. They know it. They can't justify it.
Wisconsin is making it much easier for people to compare charges. The state just launched a website where you can check charges on 470 different types of medical procedures at 120 hospitals. Minnesota has no list, no website. The state does require hospitals to provide pricing information for consumers who ask.
Deep breath.
Julius Edlovich knows more than most patients. He's also a doctor who runs his own pediatric clinic.
It's not easy to figure out what to charge patients, but basically I try to just stay within the limits of what the insurance companies, seem to want to pay for different things.
Hospitals remain reluctant to spill all the beans. Take, for instance, aspirin. Hospitals here charge you anywhere from 25 cents to a little more than $4. Yet only one hospital would tell us what it pays. Only a penny. Even if you're insured like Marianne, you've got to worry somewhere down the line someone's going to pay, and it's going to be you.
Why can't it be more fair? Why does it have to be so high for certain areas?
The Minnesota Hospital Association plans to launch a website later this year that will give you access to quality and patient safety information, not prices. That could change because of the popularity of Wisconsin's new website. They say that is one thing they're considering.
Look, we're all being asked to pay more and more of a portion of any medical bill. Is there anything that patients can do to stay on top of their costs?
There are a couple of different things. Always ask for an itemized bill. That way you know exactly what you're being charged. And if you're having problems paying, don't hesitate to let the hospitals know. Some, including Alina and Fairview here in the Twin Cities, have programs set up to help. You need to ask.
Now, the Attorney General said in your piece, in essence, that these hospitals would like to keep this information secret or private. Is that true?
That is the Attorney General's opinion. We did ask 11 hospitals to participate in this story, and they did, some reluctantly. Only one would talk about it on camera.
All right. Thank you very much. You can see a list of the hospital charges for the procedures we checked at links and numbers on WCCO.com.
Paul Douglas is here. It's a little chilly today for the second day of spring.
But having that, yeah, that's right, that meteorological spring. Thank you for remembering. But that sun makes a huge difference.
Made a huge difference in the day. Yeah.
As high in the sky now as it was back on October the 9th. So even though it was 26, it almost felt like 36 out there. But yeah, you're right. Another postcard pretty day here in late winter. Once the sun set, though, it did chill down in a hurry this evening. We caught up with this gal walking her dog tonight in Loring Park. Nice evening for a brisk walk. Brisk. The winds eased up today, so there was no wind chill babble on the radio or the TV, and that's okay. It's tournament time, and meteorologists get a little bit nervous. Of course, the XL Energy Center, the boys hockey tournament going on. You're going to be hearing more from Bob Rainey about that. And we get a little nervous. The nervous twitch returns this time of year. What can possibly go wrong and what time? But no storms coming out of Texas, nothing coming out of the southwest. As you can see on our network of live Dopplers, there's still nothing out there at this hour. Check out what's happening tomorrow at the bus stop tomorrow morning about 8 a.m. Single digits, clear skies, 2 inches of snow on the ground. So once again, the mercury is going to drop off in a hurry tonight. I saw 0 this morning down in Lakeville, and it may be just as cold tonight. Lakeville, Blaine, out towards Mound, and east towards Stillwater and Hudson. Check out the computer. A couple of things we want to show you. 18 degrees right now, the wind making it feel like about 10. It was plenty cold this morning. 33 below up at Embarrass. Ely, 24 below. St. Cloud, -3. Brainerd, 11 below. We were a bargain here in the metro, only 6 above. According to the Weather Service, our easy winter translates into a savings on your heating bill. We've all saved about 13% heating our homes and heating our businesses. Normally we get about 33 nights below 0. We've only had 14 so far this winter. And now the odds of sub-zero weather drop off significantly with each passing day. Tomorrow a sunny start. That next clipper comes in, increasing the clouds by afternoon, but fading sun, and this is right where we should be. 7 degrees tonight, crystal clear and cold. Once again, a few suburban thermometers bottoming out near 0. 34 tomorrow, fading sun, a dry day. No weather hassles getting around town. And then Friday, that clipper comes through, maybe an inch for Duluth. Here in the metro, we're on the dry southern side of that track, which means just flurries on Friday, clouds on Saturday, and a shot at 40 on Sunday before it chills off a little bit the middle part of next week. It's just been an amazing winter.
They saved more money than 13% in War Road and in Virginia just today because they turned the thermostats down. Everybody left town, came down here to the boys hockey tournament.
Good point. They're here. You're right.
Randy Moss compares his situation with the breakup of a marriage, and the Gophers go for win number 20, and possibly a trip to the tourney.
Well, Randy Moss saying that he misses Minnesota.
Yeah, you know, and I hope it works out for him because, you know, he's down deep. He's a good guy, and I think he deserves to have a good start. And he's very happy, the happiest I've ever seen him. Randy Moss says he's happy to have a fresh start in Oakland and feels his first Super Bowl ring is well within reach as a Raider. Moss was wearing his new number 18 jersey with Coach Norv Turner at his side at the news conference. The trade is now official. Sends linebacker Napoleon Harris and 2 picks, including the 7th overall, to the Vikings. Now, Moss compared his departure from Minnesota to the breakup of a marriage.
I mean, you know, 7 years is a long time, and I mean, I felt like obligated. I didn't feel betrayed, you know, from the Minnesota Vikings. I just felt that I felt let down in a way.